Guys, welcome back to Tyler. Everyone, we're here for a recap of the movement. Man, I keep wanting to say cliffs. Movement at Callow Hills Tough Love competition. We got Tyler on the horn, and we're going to just quickly go through some of the highlights from last weekend. How are you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I've been sick since the comp, which is kind of the risky run. So like being head coach going to all the youth ones every weekend, I'm sick so much just being trapped in the gym with everybody. So
and climbing, you were climbing your butt off too. You competed, and
yeah.
How'd you feel? How'd you climb?
Yeah. So my actual climbing was all right. I think like a pretty standard day for me is I like start off with a good strategy, feel good, and then get like a little bit frustrated, and then I like circle back and like go back to my strategy and end up doing well. So I keep trying to break that habit of getting frustrated in the middle, but that's all right. I was like, a bunch of people were agreeing with me. I was like super pumped for the first 2 hours. Like I couldn't shake it. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if you were super pumped as well.
I was. Essentially I looked at some point and I was like, all right, I don't have it. Like I'm just losing at the top. Last move, I just can't make it. So then eventually I said, screw this. I'm turning my card in. So I turned my card in, and I was like, I'm gonna just. I had a full card, whatever, 5 climbs. I was like, 5 climbs, we're done. Because at this point, like once again, just trying to preserve the tendon. I'm gonna say the tricep tendon, trying to keep that at bay as opposed to trying to crank out stuff when I'm really shouldn't be. And I just figured I'd just take the opportunity to capture some more footage. But so I went around and started filming and then kind of talking to people. And then they made the announcement that we had an hour left of climbing. I'm like, what? Yeah. We have an hour left? I'm like, I pumped out with an hour left. That was kind of crazy. So I gotta get on my endurance grind. So you're gonna have to put me into shape on that.
That's how I felt as well. It's like my training for the week is much more volume based for right now because I think it's like a couple. Well, the next comp is going to be feats in February. So but for me, the next comp will be, is it LIC after that or Harlem?
I don't know what order they did it in. They changed it up. So
whatever. Yeah. Right. So, whatever the next non-Cliffs Cup stop is, it's just so much easier to call it the Cliffs.
I know. It's all right. No one's going to fall through for it.
But, so whatever the next one is, that's my next comp. So I've got a little bit of time to address that power and endurance. I think, I don't know, maybe you're the same as me. It's like, it's hard to prioritize like energy systems training, like on the wall. When I feel like I've got the like time and headspace to actually climb like 2 days a week.
I mean, it happens. And that's actually, so just kind of getting into that, like just talking about preparation and training and also the strategy, right, for that. We didn't cover that in our original video. We talked about the introduction, but I think we should do a video on actual competition strategy and how to strategize and do that. I think that'll be the next video we're gonna pull together. Because I actually did have someone walk up to me in the middle of the comp, scare the crap out of me. She just like grabbed me and she's like, "Hey, I watched your video." And I was like, and so funny enough, she ended up on the podium in beginners, right? So I was like, yo, so we got to follow up on that. That was really exciting to see.
And she can Venmo me whenever.
Right. Right. But so I think a good follow up to that would be the actual strategy on for competition. But I was just like, once again excited to not be in pain. I definitely
Yeah.
pumped out real early. I think it was the word around the block for a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
simply like it's just whoa, I'm just done so early.
Yeah.
Except for Sonny, who
Which
just
is
wanted
super
to keep
interesting.
going. Right.
Yeah, we'll get into Sunny. It's the people who don't know Sunny that watch these must have this like villain persona built up in their head about him, which is so funny. Um, but yeah, I thought like on the whole, the day was really successful.
Yeah,
I really liked the setting. Um,
for sure.
the yeah, you and I were kind of talking about it, but I think it was only 1 through 39
Right.
for the open round. Or for the citizens round, the
Citizens.
open had 8 men's, 8 women's.
Right, and I think there's some
I think
overlap,
was the
but
case.
still there was a lot of climbs that were typically so previous years would be like 1 through 50, 1 through 49 climbs, and everyone could climb those, regardless of whether you're open or not. But this time they just kind of just coordinated those off just for the open climbers, which I find to be interesting, right? Interesting strategy, but it also, like, there were 2 climbs that I was looked at from an open standpoint, especially the female. There was one that was very dynamic. I was like, ooh, and I didn't even try. Like, I should have just tried it just for the fun of it, but I was like, yeah, I was like, that wasn't my wheelhouse. I was like, that's totally me. And that, and I've had that happen in the past where a lot of those really high scoring climbs, just because it was dynamic, I can just do it. It was a high scoring climb.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I like the idea that open has their own climbs that are specific to open.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, if I'm in advanced and this comes back to like categories and ranking, whatever, like
yeah.
the last year at Callow Hill, Sonny got bumped into open because he did climb number like 47 or something.
Right.
Because it was like super in his wheelhouse and like he would have won advanced, but he had that extra climb and that's why he got bumped, which he deserves to get bumped. But
right.
But I like the idea of like the open climbs can be on my card. And if I'm sandbagging and putting myself into advanced, even though I should be an open climber who's like, a few spots out of finals,
right,
then I should realistically like have access to that and get bumped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my I think my general feeling in the last few comps these days has been that there's a very consistent style among, let's call it like the top 15 hardest climbs in any given comp, where let's call it outdoor style. Let's call it, like steep climbs, hard tension, compression, like small crimps or pinches, whatever, is pretty underrepresented at those higher ends.
Yeah.
I think so. At Callow Hill, and then this happened at Harlem last year as well, is all the finals boulders were on the steepest walls, like they're 45, they're 60, that kind of stuff, and those were all tarped off for the whole day.
Right.
And so if you're somebody who is, I'm going to use myself as the example, like I excel on that like steep outdoor style where I get to like show off the biceps, and I struggle a little bit more on the slabby stuff. I try to round out my skill set as much as I can, but like if you put Sonny and I head to head at a given comp, like the more stuff that's on the steep, the better I'm going to place, and the more stuff that's on the slab, he's going to place. That being said, I don't know if you saw, it was like 37, the white slab that was like tripping some people up.
Yeah, you just walked through that.
Yeah, I burned Sonny off of a slab boulder, so I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, Sonny was cranking at that for a while. Yeah.
But so yeah, I think that's like my general note is I would love to see more like outdoorsy style at comps where like some of the steeper stuff is represented, because that's it's a selfish request, but it's also like
it was represented, right? Just for the finals, right? So
exactly.
So it was there. It's just they had it cornered off for 5. I mean, like you did. I remember I think it was 33, the red one that went upside down with the bat hang. You walked through that.
It was 29.
Was it only 29?
Yeah, only 29.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you loved that one, and you were like, it's super great climb. It was a great climb. I just I was not figuring it out, but that was a fun climb. So and then like getting from just citizens and into the finals, it was an interesting, like, so I was chatting with PJ, just kind of setting up for the live stream during the qualifying round, and apparently they set the qualifying round pretty stiff. You know, it was a lot of the open climbers were struggling on a lot of stuff, and I think they spent the entire second round in the back behind the tarp, just readjusting everything. And I think it was great play. They tweaked everything, and it actually wound up for a really good finals round, I believe. Yeah. So it's really interesting. Like, a lot of people don't even know that this is happening. Like, that the setters are there observing and checking stuff out, and then just adjusting accordingly. But that was actually, you know, kind of cool to kind of be part of that. I just happened to kind of stumble into that, you know, like just kind of talking and then seeing PJ checking out. It was Adam and Matt working that yellow. There was a yellow problem for the men's, and like
the one with like the big turtle shells.
Yeah, and it was like double campus, and it was like just crazy. And he was like, like, kind of like, all right, and you know, and then like they all convene, they go to the back, and you just hear the impact guns going off as they adjust.
Yeah, the impact drills.
Yeah, and they
crazy.
Were just, so that was like, oh, okay, you know, like it's an ever, like, you think it's just they set them and they're done, and it's not, right? You know. Yeah. So that's was a really cool part of the process for me to be part of, you know, to see that.
Yeah, I think a good testament to like how good the setting was. If you look at the advanced podium, Sonny got first. He had the 5 hardest. Cool. He flashed the hardest one. He's not allowed in advanced anymore. Right. But the person in second didn't have the hardest climb and beat the person in third on attempts. So that's like a good testament to the, you know, variety of setting style kind of outweighing like just do the 5 hardest to the biggest scores.
Absolutely.
Which I think is really cool. I think that's like a metric of good setting. And I thought that the finals boulders were set really well. I think like was it JoJo? She had
first.
She won, yeah. So she had 4 tops. I think the next best was like 1 top.
Really? I don't remember the actual top count though.
I know 1 or 2 people topped like the like white
the white one. Yeah.
Yeah, like Sabrina Levine smashed that one. Yeah. She's so strong. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with that like variety of style is like you have to have that steep one to balance out like people's strengths and weaknesses, because if you just have that first slabby one with like the awkward walk across. Right. Like it's, you know, it's not a fair test of people's individual abilities.
It was interesting because seeing that, like, you know, talking like Nina came right out the gate and just walked right across the beginning of that. Like, I didn't even think that was that difficult, watching Nina just cruise that, and then watching JoJo pop off of it like 3 times. I was like, you know, like, because it was like Nina followed by, I think it was Sabrina as well, but then like, eventually like people had a hard time with that, you know, in the beginning. So they really did set not just like a single simple thing, like they set different cruxes throughout all the different climbs for the different styles, which is really, really kind of cool to see. And it's hard to do, you know, forcing stuff.
100%. Yeah. I will always give setters a ton of credit and a ton of benefit of the doubt. And it's such a hard job to like try to account for like who's going to be there, because it's still a thing where some of the open climbers will wait until like the day before to sign up. Yep. So that like the setters won't set as hard as they, you know? Yep. Yeah. I think that shouldn't happen anymore, but
yeah, I know. Yeah. Give them some time to prepare, for sure.
Yeah. If you want like a good balanced round, like they need to know who's coming. And I think if you like the women's finals boulders were a little bit overcooked. Like I think JoJo had 4 tops, and then I don't know if anybody else had 2. The first one was slab, second one was like the yellow turtle shells. Yeah, it was divided. Third one was that white in the steep, and then fourth one was the red with like that like toe hook sequence. I thought like really good balance of style, even though boulders 3 and 4 were a little similar. I think that they were like different enough and like flashy enough. Like the excitement over each boulder and like how they look and how you watch them was a good like showrunner thing. For sure. You know, like it keeps people engaged over the course of the long round. I thought like the actual setting was a really good balance between like World Cup style, like need to get challenged on hard footwork, and also like spectator friendly, like you could see all of the holds that were on there.
But you got to put a show on, right? Yeah, people are there to watch, right? They want to be part of it. Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part, really. for a setter is
100%.
setting challenging climbs that are interesting to the people that are watching, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah, and then the men's round as well was like, I thought, pretty perfectly set. If we're being honest, I think
yeah,
the first boulder saw a lot of tops, but was punishing on attempts, which is like good for a first boulder. The second was that kind of like press into the roof, which I thought was just really cool.
yeah,
Just like a fun spectator boulder and challenged people in a different way. Like, it was interesting to see who kind of excelled on that and who struggled. Third one was that like crazy volume problem,
awkward.
which like
I got a
was
cramp just watching
awesome.
that. Yeah,
I know. I was like, please, like, get me out of there. Like, I felt like claustrophobic watching it. But I thought that was just really, really cool. Great, like, visual spectacle boulder. It like genuinely made all of the competitors really think and try to figure out the sequence.
Yeah.
Might
No
have been
top.
a little bit overcooked because
top.
I think only a couple people got the zone. Yeah, no tops. But that's okay. Like,
Yeah,
I think that there should be hard boulder. And then the fourth one was that like pink dino. I mean, how crazy was it watching some of those men just latch onto those bad holds?
Yeah. I mean, Adam didn't even do the intended beta. He does that a lot in those dynamic. He just stops himself and he just grabs and stops and he's just like, we're done and we'll move from here.
Yeah.
And everyone else is trying to get the match and not spin off, and Adam's like, I'm going to just hit that one hold. That was
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch him do that.
Yeah.
Casually.
And
so just
I think
before I forget, quick shout out to Josh Placco for just wasting no time and backing us up by saying he's going to make the podium, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Placing third. He crushed it. And
monster.
And some interesting observation, like you were saying, like with the attempts on men's one, both Josh and Sam, who were, I would say, they were the shorter stature climbers, had no problems with the first move on that climb. They both got it first attempt. But Matt, Isaac, all these taller, what I would thought, but the first move was a tall man friendly climb. They all struggled on that first move, which was really interesting to see the two short climbers just walk up and get it, and then see all these taller climbers just not feel comfortable in that space. So I don't know if it was the setting was done like that intentionally, or if it was just they would just hit it too casually. It was interesting to see that.
Yeah, I think if you were to it would be interesting to take that same move and adjust the box that it's in and see how it goes. But I mean, Sam Dreamer is not sure. Sam Lerner Dreamer is not sure. I think he's 5'8", 5'9".
But stature wise, though, he was still under the other guys who were
compared to Isaac or Matt, who were on the taller side. Adam is probably similar height, 5'8". To me, it really came down to who was just executing that move better on their first go.
Right.
It's kind of like watching Nino walk across those volumes versus some of the other climbers, and just being so cruiser, people who can jump into that position and just immediately get their hips to the wall and find that nice sticky balance point. Was cool. I liked that. We were talking about men's one, right? With the some people did a nasty foot switch on that blocked hold,
right?
But a lot of other people did that turnaround, which is definitely the
intended. Right.
Yeah. And that brings up an interesting point of trends in comps. If you think about 10 years ago at this point, the move in every World Cup was throw and catch a toe hook on the way that you threw to something.
Yep.
And that was the hardest thing to do. And now if you that is a youth C level move at local comps, right?
Yeah.
And now that 180 move or 360 where you turn around has shown up at every comp. I saw it at youth nationals, and it's been at almost all the QEs in different. So it's interesting how those trends build, and it's almost if you're not watching World Cups and seeing the things that are happening there and being able to bring it to the wall and practice it, you're not going to be prepared for that finals round when you have to either turn around or force that heinous foot switch.
Yeah.
And I was actually looking at that hold after they were done on one, and they left just enough. If they had clocked that foot another 2 degrees, I don't think anybody would have been able to switch on it.
Right.
They left just enough that they were able to bite and switch and be able to step out. Otherwise, that 180, 360 would have been much forced. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's the tricky part. I've seen that move. I was in the first Dark Horse finals, and so in this one and a couple of other finals, and I've yet to see everyone get forced into that. I've seen people, everyone, someone break that move.
Mhm.
Simply because, like you said, there's like it's a really tricky balance to the point where you're going to get a strong climber. It's like I don't want to do that. I'm going to go do it this way. But it is really cool to watch, like the spectacle. Because I think I didn't even realize that was a 180 because Josh chose not to do that and he just walked right through it. And then Sam did it, and the crowd went nuts. Like, and that's like once again like a testament to the spectacle, right? For the spectators, they really did a good job of really trying to get the crowd involved in some really cool stuff,
Yeah.
whether it's dynamic or getting the climber to turn around. And I think
Yeah.
that's a big part of the evolution of the sport from just from a spectator standpoint. It really isn't, like you said before, about who's the strongest and powerful. Like they're setting climbs for the show as well, and as well as of course being challenging, which is really kind of cool as well. It's hard.
Yeah.
The job has gotten
It's
harder for
it's
setters.
it's harder and harder every year. And I think like if you take the average like finals round in the Northeast right now and you put them all on different sets of boulders, I like if you take the Callow Hill round and the goat boulders and get rid of their format, like if you took all those different ideas and put them like put those people head to head, you would have a different winner in every round.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like at such a high level that like if you get lucky and you see some things that you really favor, you're gonna have an incredible round.
Yeah.
And heavy is the head that wears the crown, because if you're the person who's dominating consistently, they're not going to set something in your style.
Right.
If they know Adam Shahar is coming, they're probably not going to give you a moonboard problem.
But it's also very hard to not set an Adam Shahar style because he is a very well-rounded climber.
Yeah.
I've seen him really literally just ignore the fact that something's hard and just do it. It's just like
He's too strong.
Yeah,
it's
so
crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, shout out to Isaac Leff as well. Like coming back and getting first. He was out for so long with his injury.
Yeah.
That it's like just awesome to see him come back, and like he seems to be like a better climber coming back than he was before. Like
Cool.
He's like his footwork looks much cleaner. His like actual flow on the wall, like he's not just ripping through everything like I remember him doing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what a guy, nicest guy in the world.
Yeah. Congrats to him for coming through and hopping on the top. I saw him. I think it was at the first Dark Horse. I don't think he podiumed, but yeah, that was my first time seeing him come back, and I think he was just kind of testing the waters. And yeah, very cool. What else have we got? Oh, just funny. Like I don't know if you noticed, but this is not planned or whatever because we all know Sam is a Beta Breakers sponsored athlete.
Yeah.
Him coming out in two different shirts, like he started off with the regular
so
tee, and then I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah,
it's like a runway shirt.
He had the T-shirt at first, and then he switched to the tank. I thought that was so cool. I noticed it.
I was like,
"Wow, really repping the sponsor."
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. That was just pretty funny at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really well done, and it was interesting to see Jolie. Not JoJo. Jolie actually qualified first. I don't know if you looking at the actual qualification, she qualified first and ended up in second, right? So she's making some waves. I haven't seen a couple people that have been missing from the comps. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Like we were missing Sienna, and she mixes some things up. I haven't seen Augie in a minute. So like I mean those are questions that are out there. I don't know, they could be resting injured or doing nationals or whatever. Or on vacation. And Austin Hoyt, I know he's probably on vacation somewhere as well.
Yeah, I think he's out in Bishop right now.
Yeah, he's out there crushing other stuff. So, it's interesting like to see like, the dynamics when, certain people aren't there. But it's also good to see, new faces and people mixing up the podiums.
I'm always curious for those top levels, like what determines whether or not they'll show up. And I think for a lot of them as they get older, it's about like becoming more selective with which comps feel important to them. Because if you're Augie and your year is centered around prepping for like US team trials, like it doesn't really make sense for you to drive down to Callow Hill and throw off your training cycle to like compete and have to recover from that competition and travel. And like if you're serious about making the US team or the Olympic, like whatever that like bigger stage goal is, you have to sacrifice those smaller things in order to have a like more complete training cycle.
Right.
So who knows if that's really what the purpose is, but
Right.
I think for a lot of them, it's becoming more and more selective, not just let's go to every comp every year for every prize, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, so, yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, it's about getting the chops and getting there and just doing every comp to really get the flow and feel. And then some people now they're at that point where they're looking to go to that next level, right? And they're being more selective. Yeah. Cool.
I think Augie might be okay with comp experience.
I think he's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's and seeing Zoe's filling his spot anyway. Zoe coming up out of the ranks and now qualifying for a lot of the finals and having fun.
She's the youngest.
Yeah.
At Feats of Strength last year, I was like emceeing and I was like, all right, are you excited to climb this boulder? She was like, no, I want to go home and play Valorant. It's so funny.
It's interesting to see like because I've watched these kids grow up, right? And I've watched like all of a sudden, another kid pops out of nowhere, like another Chi comes in and is on the wall, and then another one, and it's like, and then like Zoe, I first saw her, it was at the Method Underground, I think 3 or something like that, and I was like, there's another one, like, and then see her. She's like a meld of all of her older siblings, and it's really cool to see that. So big things for her coming down the pipe as well. So that'll be really interesting.
That's awesome, man. Like the dynasty that the Cheese created, is incredible.
Yeah,
like they are the modern day Medici family of climbing right now. Like opening the best like comp training center in the Northeast. You know, like they just did that because their kids like want to be good, it's incredible.
All right, so I think that's about it for this session. So like we definitely have to follow up though. So I think the next thing we're going to do for those of you, Tyler's a coach, by the way, guys, for those of you who are new to the whole thing, so we're going to chat with Tyler, I think, about comp strategy, right? And then so that'll be a big deal. So keep an eye out for that. That'll happen before the next one, which is Feats of Strength. So we'll get that.
Feats of Strength, February 24th. Be there. As unbiased as I could possibly be, it's the most fun comp every year.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, are you emceeing or no? Are you competing?
Yeah, I'm gonna MC. Which there's a rope kiwi on the same day. At the Rock Club.
Oh, okay.
And like session 3 kind of like overlaps with finals a little bit, and we have 17 kids competing in session 3 and like 2 in sessions 1 and 2. So that throws a wrench in my system, but luckily the Rock Club is close. I'll definitely be emceeing, and I'll maybe miss a little bit of the Kiwi, but everybody should sign up. We every year, I mean, we have incredible prizes. We have like a really fun atmosphere. Bake sale for our team kids, supporting our scholarship fund that helps them afford USA Climbing, which if you're not somebody who is familiar with USA Climbing, it is insanely expensive.
Very expensive.
If you're going to nationals, just registration for nationals starts at $250.
Right. And don't forget, you have to get there, right? You got to get there, and then you got to stay. Yeah.
And it's not just you, it's your parents coming and maybe your siblings, like, so definitely sign up. One more funny thing from the last comp was that they had a big Sierra Nevada beer sponsorship banner in finals where I don't think any of the finalists are old enough to drink. That's it.
Yes, that's an interesting thing. Yes. I mean, all the finals, all the competitions are sponsored by some local brewery at some point, right? Yeah. But yes, that's an interesting note about the banner in the middle with the... Yeah, they're not old enough. I mean, I was actually talking to PJ about that. The fact that literally from a qualifying standpoint, they're all kids. I was like, don't you guys didn't you have a kid still? Like, yeah, but they're all strong. He's like, our time is over, man. Like the finalists are 14-year-olds or whatever. And I was like, wow.
I don't know when I became 10 years older than the oldest finalist.
Right. It just happened,
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's pretty funny.
So Feats of Strength, I think we've got Captain Lawrence, we've got
always got
an MC, and we have DJ Amir coming back. It's going to be an absolute blast. So if you're not signed up yet, sign up now.
Yes, sign up now. And if you don't know where to sign up, you can simply just go to climbingnoise.com, all of
Yes.
the competitions across the nation are listed there, of course, with the registration as well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
all my team kids talked about climbing noise the other day. By the way,
yeah,
they're super stoked, and
yeah.
they all want to compete at every comp, and I have to tell them to settle down. But
You're welcome for that.
yeah,
All right, Tyler. Great chatting with you. And we'll see you at the next comp. All right.
yeah. Let's we'll talk again soon.
Excellent.
I'll chat with you in a bit.